Hi everybody, welcome to Life Coach Tuesday. And what I try to do on these coaching sessions is take a question, a scenario, and deal with it as I would as a life coach, as if I was talking to you personally. So these are the questions that I'm getting. The thing that I don't know is all the circumstances that surround it, because if I'm talking to you personally and you give me this same question, I would ask you a whole series of things. I would have to ask you about your life and what your interests are, and maybe some things that have affected your life, positive, negative, what your status in life is. Do you live alone? Do you live with family? Lots of different things that affect these questions. So I have to kind of take the question and imagine and create a scenario around it in order to answer it in a life coach type manner. But I can do that. I'm creative, I've written lots of songs and just created them out of nowhere, so I can do the same thing here. This question is a pretty sincere one, and it has to do with the holidays upon us. It says, how do I control my spending habits? Ooh. Well, there's probably lots of stores you shouldn't be going into. I was just in a store. I don't know if anybody knows about Grapevine, Texas. There's this, it's like Little Town, USA, and all the lights are on, and all the trees are lit, and every little shop is lit. There's all these great little places to eat, and all these little cool type of shops where you get all these sort of really strange things that you don't see before anywhere else. And I tell you, I spent more money there than I would have ever spent. I got a bunch of stuff I didn't need, stuff I wanted but I didn't need. So sometimes your spending can be affected by your environment, and there are times where you just have to stay out of the environment is going to trigger something inside of you. Because if I wasn't in Grapevine, Texas, and hearing the Christmas music play, and seeing the tree lit, and there's a little gazebo that's dressed up it's got a tree and a fireplace. It's the cutest thing, and everybody's getting up there and taking pictures. So it's hard not to want to go in one of those little shops, and you see this little thing, and I saw this little thing. It looks like a television, but it's 3D, and it turns on, and the little train track goes around. It's like, oh, I gotta have it. So certain places you're gonna have to stay away from. That's one aspect of controlling your spending. And I'd have to talk to you personally to find out, why do you spend? Where do you usually spend at? Aside from clothes, what is the thing you like to go spend money on? And a lot of times it has to do with things you feel that is a fun getaway. We go and we buy things to feel like we're moving ahead a little bit, but we love the idea of shopping and purchasing. It's a habit, and it's a retreat from everyday life. It gets our mind off of everything else, and it takes us away from the humdrum of life or the routine of life. And when you look at it that way, you start to realize that the core basis of going out and spending is to have a getaway, have something that takes you away from the normalcies of life, from the consistencies, from the boring things, from the pressures of life. It has very little to do with actually getting something that you need to purchase and have in your possession. It has more to do with giving you a certain feeling of release, of freedom. So I think if I was life coaching you, I'd probably ask you lots of different questions, like what it is you really like to buy, and what do you feel like when you get that, and what type of places do you usually like to shop in. And I'll promise you that the places that you like to shop in are places that don't look like anything where you come from. Usually, if you live in a certain area, whenever you go shopping to an area that looks opposite of where you live. That's why a lot of people that live in really big houses or really rich, they like to go shopping for antiques, something that was here, 20, 30 years ago or 40 years ago, because it's not about spending money for them, because they have money to go spend in more expensive places, but they love the idea of the retreat, of getting away, going to a place that's unfamiliar, that's new, that takes their mind off everything. So the core of spending has a lot to do with taking your mind off of something. But there's other things that do that. Athletic type ventures do that. People go to the gym to get their mind off everything. And you walk into the gym, there's nothing else to do there but to work out. People go for long jogs. They go for walks. They read books. They do jigsaw puzzles. There's lots of things you can do to control spending habits, because the problem about spending is that it affects every other area of your life. Sooner or later, it's going to affect your standard of living. It's going to affect whether or not you can pay the bills, where you're going to live, what type of car you're going to drive. Will you have enough food on the table? Can you supply the needs for the family? So spending habit, it starts to pull away from your life. It detracts from your life. It's drawing from, it's not adding to. Habit to get away from something is really what you're looking for. You really want something to take your mind off of everything. And I would want to talk to you, if I was coaching you, about the things you might like to do that get your mind off of all the things in life that are weighing you down. Because everybody has things that they're like, they call them guilty pleasures, or things that they like to do just to get away from it all. Could be binge watching some TV series or something, which is a lot cheaper than going shopping. So for those of you that have how to control spending habits, that's where I would go. And if you do have some, I sure would like to talk to you, because I think I could help you. I could save you a lot of money. And the people around you will be much happier, because obviously if you're spending money, you're not just spending your own, you're spending someone else's money. You're spending someone else's food money, someone else's rent money, someone else's clothing money, someone else. You're taking away from every other person that's around you, because you would be using that money to make a better life for yourself and the people around you. So I want to help you get control of that. I'd love to talk to you. CarmanLifeCoaching.com. Give me a call. So I hope this helps, especially at Christmas. Just be careful where you go shopping at. Give yourself a budget. The best thing to do is do not go shopping with credit cards. Go shopping with cash. Take the cash out, put it in your pocket. At least you know when it's done, you've hit your limit. Credit cards are deceptive. They always make you feel like you're richer than you are, and they always bite you in the end. I hope that helps.